Hezbollah is more independent and sovereign than many countries, many states and many governments in the region, not to say in the world actually. And I hold myself responsible for every word. It's very simple for you to cast accusations right and left. But when you want to talk about something, you have to bring shred of evidence. I go more than that and say, for example, Hezbollah and Sayyid Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, is in a position to exercise influence on Iran and in Syria and many other countries, and many other players in the region, more than they can do the opposite. You're talking about completely independent sovereign organization that work for the domestic interest of the country, and they hold it as a top priority. This is one thing. We're not pro-Iran or pro-Syria. We take support from Iran and we take support from Syria, and we are ready to take support from any country, Britain, Canada, Azerbaijan, any country that is ready to give support, we will take it actually. But providing that they don't dictate their policies on us, and providing this should be unconditional. When they do it, it's their duty to do it, to tell you the truth. Because again, we go to the same value. Why is the United Nations and why is the Western countries, the NATO now imposing no-fly zones? They say because we want to support the Libyan people. Why don't they do the same with the Palestinian people in Gaza, for example? Do they do it? Of course not. You have Israel. Why didn't they do it in Lebanon when it was under the attack in 2006? There was genocides taking place. They didn't do it. I would say that Hezbollah is more sovereign and independent, more than any other government in the region, so to speak. For example, it's well known that we took support from Qatar. What does Qatar represent? Is Qatar a revolutionary movement or a revolutionary country? We know that the hugest American base, military base, is in Qatar, in the Gulf, isn't it? Still, they wanted to help. You're welcome. You want to help us, you want to help the people to rebuild or to do whatever, fine. But it was like they're doing their duty, we accept and we thank this. But it doesn't mean that Qatar is going to exercise influence on our decisions or our aspirations. When Iran does this, it helps the raison d'etre of Iran. The raison d'etre of Iran is that it's the revolution of the oppressed against the oppressors. So it is like giving more and more legitimacy to its already legitimate system by helping the others who are oppressed. The same they do for the Palestinians, actually, the Iranians. They support Hamas, everybody knows that. Why do they do it? Are they because they are Shiites? They are not Shiites, they are Sunnis. Everybody knows that Iran helped the people in Bosnia, and they were not Shiites, they were actually Sunnis, and they helped them. And the same track, in many problems and in many conflicts around the world, you have to see where you have to stand up and what kind of position to take.
Now, there's another regional revival that has been taking place for over a couple of years, and that's been the revival of Turkey. Now, how do you think the path that Turkey has taken on today, how do you think this will overall affect the regional power balance here?
Well, to tell you the truth, we look into what's really going on, the changes going on in Turkey with a lot of appreciation and admiration and positive response. I believe that Turkey is taking back its normal position. This is the normal position that Turkey tried to depart a long time ago, but now it's going back to its basis, to its nature, to this Levant, to this area. And I believe if you look into the future, now with Egypt back, inshallah, hopefully, Egypt back to the track, Iran and then Turkey, then the triangle is again back on its place. And I believe this is an opportunity for us to see a new regional order that could stand up to the dominance and to the hegemony of the Western powers in the region. This is the region of the Arabs and the Muslims and the people living here. They have every right to exercise their own influence and sovereignty and independence and look to the affluence and the prosperity of their own people, not the affluence and prosperity of anyone else.
Now, in your conversations, you've mentioned Azerbaijan quite a few times. If you would follow Azeri media, there's often pro-government media outlets publish reports saying that during the war between Armenia and Azerbaijan, supposedly Hezbollah fighters were fighting against their fellow Muslims, the Azeris, for the Orthodox Armenians. How much truth is it to this story? What do you have to say to it?
I totally say this is completely false. This is fake news. I mean, Hezbollah has never been part of any fight anywhere outside Lebanon. We have always been fighting here in Lebanon against the enemy that occupying our land. There was only one instance when they went to Egypt in order to help the Palestinians. I mean, and we know the way it was a kind of logistics. But all of these things follow the same mainstream media propaganda against the party. You're talking about the Lebanese party that works here in order to liberate the Lebanese territory. But I can tell you that I know this is the policy of Hezbollah. These accusations, this is the first time that I hear that it was leveled against Hezbollah. But on a daily basis, we hear things like that. Only yesterday, they said that 3,000 members of Hezbollah went to Syria to help the Syrians there against the regime, to help against the people. And of course, I myself went to Al Arabiya and I have categorically refused these allegations and said they are allegations and accusations that are baseless and unfounded.
Well, thank you very much for your time. And just the last question, which is on everybody's mind, whenever talking to people who are active in Hezbollah, and that is, how great are the chances of a next war between the Zionist entity and Lebanon?
You're talking about people under occupation, you're talking about people under threat, you're talking about people who are willingly or wrongly are neighbor to a nuclear force in the region, supported by the only superpower in the world, the United States of America. Part of our land is still under occupation. The Israelis continue on a daily basis to violate our airspace and to go into our seas territories. There is soil theft and water theft, and the threats are always there. The occupation is there. Actually, when there is like a highly sophisticated trained army with veto power from the United States, always in the United Nations and Security Council, then you would expect that people who are resisting this occupation, they are not in the position to start a war. We have always been in the defensive part. We've always been liberating our occupied territories. That part of them is still under occupation. It depends whether the Israelis are going to start a war. But if they started, we are ready to defend ourselves and to continue the same thing that we have always been doing, not subduing, not bowing our head, not to the Israelis, not to everyone, because we know very well dignity does not come by begging the superpowers. Dignity is being taken by the sacrifices of the people, their belief, determination, and resolve in their own cause. And this is what we keep doing always. And this is what makes us what we are. Proud of being Lebanese, proud of being Arabs, proud of being Muslim, proud of being human beings who continue, and the humans who continue to uphold the value of mankind, that never accept to subdue or to be subjugated.
What do you think would increase what would need to happen so that Israel would suddenly attack Lebanon? Do you think they will attack anytime soon?
The Israelis have never waited at any time to take an excuse, an alibi to attack. When their interests boil down that they want to attack, they'll do it. They'll do it. It's not. But now I tell you, we have been able to build a very important, effective deterrent force, a very important, strong, effective deterrent force, the resistance, that the Israelis are going to think many times before they do. And I can tell you, the Israelis are waiting to revenge and are waiting to have their face back up and again after the humiliating defeat in 2006. But because they are not sure they are going to win it this time again, they won't do it. And I promise you, as much as our leadership promise, that they will not be able to do anything to harm or humiliate us. This time, the time when they used to attack and to win is not anymore there. This is the time of victories for the people, and you can see around you. It's giving them more difficult time to launch wars, let alone to win it.